Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Eugene Gu, and some of you may know me from Twitter. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm a physician scientist interested in saving the lives of babies with congenital heart and kidney diseases. And actually I was subpoenaed by the United States Congress in 2016 by the Republicans in Congress who tried to stop me from saving the lives of these babies through my research. I've also been blocked by President Donald Trump on Twitter, and actually joined a lawsuit with my fellow co-plaintiffs to sue Donald Trump and force him. We got a federal judge to force him to actually unblock us on Twitter so that we could continue to reply to him and participate in the forum underneath his tweets, which is our First Amendment rights as American citizens, offering dissent. So today I actually want to talk about one of his tweets because I want to fact check the president and stop him from spreading all this disinformation and lies, which is harming our country and propping up his presidency with pure propaganda. So on January 11th, Trump tweeted, quote unquote, "Drug prices declined in 2018, the first time in nearly half a century. During the first 19 months of my administration, Americans saved $26 billion on prescription drugs. Our policies to get cheaper generic drugs to market are working." Now, first of all, this is an absolute lie. It's not true at all. Prescription drug prices have actually skyrocketed under the Trump administration. And now here he is saying that they're getting lower. The reason why this is ridiculous too is that Trump himself tweeted about 6 days before this that drug prices were skyrocketing and that he was unhappy about it. He's also expressed to high-level administration officials within his own cabinet that he's unhappy with the skyrocketing drug prices. So here he is stating the opposite fact and just trying to make it seem like he's doing a great job when he's failing the American people. And the reason why drug prices are so high is because Donald Trump nominated Alex Azar to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. For those of you who don't know who Alex Azar is, he used to be a high-level pharmaceutical executive at a big pharma company called Eli Lilly. And while he was at Eli Lilly, Secretary Azar raised the price of insulin by more than 3 times. He more than tripled the price of insulin, which is simply outrageous and unconscionable to do to the American people. This is especially heartbreaking, to me as a physician, because I've had many patients come with diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes, and then they actually have to lose an arm or a leg. I've had to perform many leg amputations on patients because they get huge infections, and if we don't, chop off their leg and amputate it, they could actually die from the infection spreading to the rest of their body. People with diabetes, they can go blind with diabetic retinopathy. People with diabetes are very prone to getting heart attacks because diabetes destroys blood vessels, and many patients with diabetes die every year due to heart disease. So when the president nominates a pharmaceutical executive who price gouged insulin, it's just preposterous for him to now say that he lowered drug prices. The cost of insulin is now $300 a vial, and the cost has been steadily increasing for many years. And the most outrageous thing about this is that the pharmaceutical companies have been doing this sneaky tactic called evergreening. Now, evergreening is a legal process in patent law by which you make a very slight modification to a drug, like insulin, in order to renew your patent so that you can continue raising the price of a drug. The way things normally work is a patent for a drug expires after a certain number of years so that we can have generic versions of the drug which are cheaper to help the patients. But these pharmaceutical companies are not letting these patents on insulin expire. And the funny thing about this is that the first people to discover insulin, Dr. Frederick Banting, he sold the patent for insulin for $1 to the University of Toronto. He wanted to not make any profit from insulin because he wanted to make sure that this life-saving drug is given to everyone with diabetes so that he can save as many lives as possible. And the pharmaceutical companies are literally making Dr. Banting, turn over in his grave. They took his patent, they're evergreening it, making tiny, slight modifications every time in order to keep their stranglehold on insulin. Also, do you know how insulin is actually made? Insulin is produced by a genetically modified yeast. Yeast is similar to bacteria. It's a fungus, but it almost behaves like bacteria in terms of how it reproduces. And we use yeast, to make beer, to make wine. We can make a lot of things on an industrial scale with yeast. And so, like, these pharmaceutical companies are having these huge vats of yeast making insulin, genetically modified human recombinant insulin, and then they're charging literally an arm and a leg just so that they can make tons of profits when they're producing it almost like water. And so it's just unconscionable to me that the President of the United States can nominate the very person, Secretary Alex Azar, who's responsible for this whole price-fixing scheme with insulin at the expense of American lives. So I just wanted to fact check, the president, make sure that he's not able to spread his lies on Twitter and in the media, stating opposite facts. And so I just wanted to make sure that we all know the history behind, insulin, what's happened with Alex Azar, and how the president cannot continue to keep on spreading fake news. So thanks for your time and watching this video, and hope to see you guys next time.